you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. In a 14-7 vote, he was denied the power to investigate an alleged multi-million peso scandal at the Bureau of Immigration. It was supposed to be a simple referral of a resolution in aid of legislation to the Committee on Civil Service and Government Reorganization, chaired by Senator Antonio Trillanes. But Senator Zubiri questioned the move that led to a vote. In the end, the Civil Service and Justice Committees will handle the investigation. But the word war continued, and battle lines between the majority and minority in the Senate were virtually drawn. How will this controversy have an impact on the supermajority or the majority in the Senate? What will be its implication on the administrative's legislative agenda? Let's go straight to the source of the story, Senator Antonio "Sonny" Trillanes IV. Senator, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you, Miss Pinky.
Okay, so kamusta na po kayo ni Senator Migs?
We're good. Immediately after, it was resolved in the executive lounge, so it ended well.
How does a situation, Senator, like that happen? You were obviously peeved. He was obviously peeved and hurt as well because you called him. Well, nag-umpisa because balikan po natin yung storya. Senator Franklin Drilon in mid-December filed a resolution. He wanted your committee to look into a reorganization of the Bureau of Immigration.
Yes.
Fast forward, Senator Zubiri says, wait a minute, not that committee, it should be under the Justice Committee. Doon na nag-umpisa yung away because you were saying that posibleng i-whitewash nila tong investigation na to.
Well, may precedence na. What Senator Gordon did during the investigations of the extrajudicial killing. So I was looking at that perspective. So fearing that it would happen again, of course, I was protesting the transfer.
But now that, because of that, when you said whitewash, so you have Senator Zubiri and Senator Gordon, well, Senator Zubiri mostly taking offense. Tapos doon na lumabas yung tinawag mo na, you called him a?
No, the context there was, he was citing some instances, and I just responded to what he cited. Well, actually, part of the agreement is for us to move on beyond this issue so that we can focus on the situation at hand. Now, let me just state that while it was referred jointly to the Committee on Civil Service and Committee on Justice, Senator Gordon preempted everything by setting a hearing on Monday by the Blue Ribbon Committee. So in the end, while the Senate ruled that both of us could conduct the hearings separately as primary committees, he preempted it by conducting a hearing on Monday.
Are you at all concerned, though, about the Korean businessman, Senator Trillanes? I want to ask you this because this could be an offshoot, probably, of the extrajudicial killing investigation because now they have Tokhang for ransom. You have a Korean businessman now who was kidnapped last year in October. Apparently, his by policemen, allegedly, and his remains were even cremated. Could there be an investigation on this by the Senate, and should you look into this?
Yes, definitely. And I believe Senator Lacson, who's the chairman of the Committee on Public Order, has filed a resolution to investigate this Tokhang for ransom phenomenon. And aside from that example of the Korean, Senator Lacson was also citing some examples about Chinoy businessmen being harassed in the same modus operandi. And also from what I've been hearing in some informal settlers, that some children are being abducted, and you'll have to give ransom so that they would be released. Otherwise, they'd be part of the statistics of the drug users and drug pushers.
You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today is Senator Antonio "Sonny" Trillanes. You filed a resolution, sir. You want to look into trolls and fake news. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, because of the recent developments, particularly during the past elections, the fake news and the trolls somehow influence the outcome of the elections. And if we have confirmed that, then it becomes, it actually is a threat to national security, because you can now put in candidates that may be detrimental actually to the interest of the nation.
Pero what kind of investigation have you seen so far? I remember reading, sir, that you were even saying that the trolls are so rampant here that they even earn about $2,000 a month. Is that true?
That's one of the reports. In fact, we were quoting some news reports about it, and that's the trend now. They would tap these so-called influencers, and they would feed in their agenda.
I mean, the only kind of difference that I see between yours and his is trolls and fake news. His is Facebook and fake news. Do you think pwedeng ipagsama yung dalawang resolution?
Yes, I believe it's aligned. The thing about trolls is, at some point it becomes dangerous because they tend to be cyber bullies, and they harass people, they intimidate the legitimate dissenting voices.
Right.
So in a way, again, they also influence public opinion.
Would you say, Senator, that you're a recipient of cyberbullying?
Yes, but fortunately for me, I have shut down my personal social media account. So my staff have been giving me feedback, but they have generally dissipated since May last year.
I see. What kind of number? When do you think the Senate can look into this? I think that this could bring about a lot of curiosity, even to media organizations, sir.
We will be coordinating with the chairman of the committee, Senator Grace Poe, so that we can provide her with all the inputs that we have and coordinate as regards the scheduling.
And you want to do this as soon as possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Anna.
Before we end this topic, Senator, just wanted to ask you one question on this. Do you regret, though, what happened between you and Senator Zubiri?
No, it's part of the legislative exercise. People should get used to this exchange of ideas, which could be passionate at some point, but for as long as it's done within the rules of the Senate, it's fair game.
Minsan ho kasi nakakatakot because people were thinking parang yung susunod na eksena was baka magkasuntukan kayo ni Senator Migs.
Actually, if you're there and after that, the perception was we were about to have this fist fight, but we're actually exchanging our positions. Walang ano doon. Kaya those privy to the actual conversations there, malayo na magkasuntukan.
Pero okay na talaga kayo ni Senator Migs. Can you say that?
Yeah.
All right. And just very quickly, sir, on a last note, you're also being implicated now on the stabbing of inmate J.B. Sebastian. Sir, just a quick reaction from you, please.
Well, that's a badly written script, but I categorically deny any involvement in that. And Secretary Aguirre himself said that there's no evidence to link me in any way to that. He just floated my name.
Senator Antonio Trillanes, good to see you, sir, and thank you for being here. Thank you. Do you feel that maybe a safer question is the campaign of the president against, his war on drugs, what kind of effect has that had, do you think, on society?
Let me just focus first on the effect on institutions like the police. We're creating monsters out of some elements of the Philippine National Police, and it's destroying the institution. And this culture of impunity that the president gave to the policemen is exactly doing all sorts of negative stuff to our society.
How do you feel coming into Monday na sabi mo nga parang napangunahan na kayo ni Senator Richard Gordon? Ganun na lang ho ba yun?
Well, ganun talaga, no? These are let's just say legislative maneuvers, and they have every right to do that, which is why I'm not whining. What's wrong with Senator Gordon, for example? He's threatening me for unethical behavior.
Right.
Well, by all means, you file it, right? The problem with him is if you contradict him, he interprets that as unethical behavior. Well, he has to wake up, because people are going to stand up not only to him but to anybody whose opinions are opposed.
Yeah, he told us yesterday, Senator, that was an unethical behavior. I believe that was because of you having called Senator Zubiri a cheater, because I may have brought that up. I'm sure I did. Sabi niya, that's an unethical behavior and a complaint should be filed before the ethics committee. Then we were probing who would ask. Sinabi naman niya, anyone.
That's a problem. He wasn't even there when the debate was happening, and I didn't call Zubiri a cheater. I just said, again, the transcript would bear me out, and not to dwell into the details anymore. Probably Senator Gordon should just file it if he feels that I did some unethical behavior. But the problem with him is he has been calling people names. He called me some names in the media, and even in the session in the Senate. But he doesn't look at it as an ethical behavior.
Okay.
So that's Senator Gordon for you.
What kind of relationship are you seeing? I mean, you and Senator Gordon. Paano ho ba yung ganon?
We'll try to be civil. I thought last Tuesday afternoon when the three of us talked, it's all settled. Then he appeared here and he fired away. So I'm here to defend myself. Okay, and say my piece. So, but we try to be as civil as possible. But it doesn't mean that I'm not that I'll just take in whatever you say and agree with you. Of course not. If I believe that his arguments are false or against my principles, then I'll stand up.
I wanted to ask you very frankly, Senator, nakakailang na ho ba sa Senado ngayon?
Hindi pa naman. Compared to last Congress with Senator Enrile and the others around, hindi pa ganon. Ano lang, that's the perception outside, but at least as far as I'm concerned, Okay.
Also yesterday, Senator, when we were talking about the vote of 14-7 to refer it back to the Rules Committee, there were 7 who voted to keep it doon sa committee mo. That would be obviously Senate President Pro Tempore Frank Trillanes, Ralph Recto, Senator Antonio Trillanes, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Laila de Lima, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and Senator Bam. I asked him, sabi ko, sir, what happens to these 7? Tapos sinabi nga niya, kasi sabi ko parang they seem to be voting as a block. He used these words referring to, I know you're not part of the majority, Senator Antonio Trillanes, but 5 out of the 7 are part of the majority. Let's listen to exactly what Senator Gordon said. So there was a 14-7 vote, Senator Gordon. Now they're saying that we put this back to the Committee on Rules, right?
Yes.
What does that say? I mean, for some people, sir, the 7 senators seem to always vote as one.
Yes. It seems you have an opposition in the Senate, masquerading as part of the administration. They have to take their mask out. If they really are in the opposition, then they should say so. And they should act in unison, as they have been acting in unison in all issues. And most of the issues, or all of these issues, practically are against the administration. So a lot of the people are saying, well, they have UC committees. Senate President Trillanes is pro tempore. Senator Pangilinan is agriculture, and there are many others. No? So the other senators are beginning to question that. Actually, this started way before, during the organization of the Senate. But in the interest of having a cordial scenario, they cannot play that card all the time because it's going to cause division.
What is your personal opinion on that? What should they do?
Well, I think if you're in the opposition, you should stay in the opposition,
Are you saying that they should bolt out of the majority? Is that what
I
you're
think
saying?
so. I think they should do that. And that's my own take on that.
Senator Trillanes, what do you would you like to react to that?
I think Senator Gordon confuses opposition, administration, and majority and minority. You see, there's a very unique dynamics in the Philippine Senate, wherein the majority doesn't constitute administration. They constitute senators who voted for the sitting Senate President, and those who didn't vote for the sitting Senate President becomes the minority. So I don't know what he's complaining about. Probably he doesn't know that about this dynamics
In the Senate.
In the Senate.
As a matter of fact, I spoke to Senate President Pro Tempore Frank Drilon also yesterday during the show in the afternoon, and he did say exactly the same thing as you said. It's not about the administration. The vote was about Senate President Coco Pimentel.
Yes, and in fact, if you're going to question loyalties, remember Senator Gordon didn't want Senator Coco Pimentel to be Senate President, until eventually they found out that he already had the majority. They were voting for Senator Cayetano. And I suspect that all of these so-called grumblings are emanating from the senators aligned with Senator Cayetano.
What are you trying to say, Senator Trillanes?
Probably Senator Cayetano is making a move to topple Senator Pimentel as Senate President. So that's just a speculation.
Yeah. Do you have any evidence, or have you heard anything very solid that can back that up? Even if you don't tell us, sir.
Just the pattern of behavior. First, it was raised by Senator J.B. Ejercito, again a supporter of Senator Cayetano. Then the blocking of the referral came from Senator Zubiri,
Right.
again from Senator Cayetano's group, and here comes Senator Gordon. So I wasn't born yesterday. I'm not a hardcore politician, but I can read these things.
But when you look at it, you would agree that the seven of you pretty much always vote in unison.
Not really, not in all issues. They can review the records in the budget. In fact, I voted for the budget.
Okay.
The seven voted for the budget. If you're looking at a specific piece of legislation that needs to be voted on, there you go.
All right. Senator, let's move to death penalty. Your thoughts on death penalty? I believe that, is it on end of the month that the Senate will begin to hear the death penalty bills?
Under this kind of government, this administration, I believe it would be misused and abused. So definitely I would be opposing it every step of the way.
And what are your thoughts on Senator Manny Pacquiao? He's getting a lot of reaction from what he's saying, that even way back, kahit si Jesus Christ was sentenced to death because government allowed it. Would you care to react to that?
Not exactly the best example to cite, but he's entitled to his opinion.
That confuses me, though, to be frank with you. Paano ho yun? Kasi you referred it, the senators referred it back to the Committee on Rules. Then the rules said, okay, let's give it to the Civil Service and Reorganization and the Justice Committee chaired by Senator Dick Gordon. And then Senator Richard Gordon says, no, it's the Blue Ribbon Committee that will handle this. Although I get it because it's supposed to be a corruption allegation.
He is claiming now, motu proprio, he can investigate. So he preempted everybody else by conducting, setting the hearing scheduled on Monday. So he would be presiding again. Now, here's the thing. Back in December, when this issue was raised or happened, Senator Gordon was asked if he would investigate the matter. And on record, he said, I won't investigate this because I'm not a policeman. Now, fast forward January, he's trying to preempt everybody into conducting this hearing. So I question the intentions of Senator Gordon.
What's going to happen then? What's going to happen now? I mean, if the Senate decided civil service and reorganization and justice, and then the Blue Ribbon Committee decides they can do it motu proprio, what's going to happen? There's going to be a Blue Ribbon, a civil service, and a justice committee hearing, sir?
Well, I'm not going to. I will not intervene in the. In fact, I will participate in the investigation on Monday, because we'll be calling on the same set of witnesses and resource persons. So we'll try to squeeze as much information out of them. But that will not prevent me from conducting a hearing later on under my committee, which I will preside. So it will all depend on how the investigation or the hearing would be conducted on Monday.
Titingnan mo na lang how it goes, and if you feel that maybe there is a need for further investigation, you have the right under that committee you chair, the Civil Service and Government Reorganization.